on a direct trajectory to Mars. We're going to do what we like to call the quiescent period, the boring period of traveling through interstellar space. Okay, so now, 7 months later, here we are, traveling at 16,000 miles per hour to the surface of Mars. We lose our space station because we don't need it anymore. It's pointed us directly at Mars. We're ready to go. We're going to hit our landing site. We're traveling at 16,000 miles per hour, and we hit the upper atmosphere of Mars. When we hit the upper atmosphere of Mars, the friction as we come through literally burns a hole in the upper atmosphere. The heat shield in the front of our rover gets to about the surface temperature of the sun, 1,600 degrees centigrade. At this point, we're going to start what I like to call reverse origami. We're going to pull up a parachute. This is a supersonic parachute, and that's going to start changing our angle of attack from being directly in to being more vertical with the surface of Mars. At this point, we're going to slow down to around 300 to 400 miles per hour. We're going to lose our heat shield because we don't want that heat to come back into our vehicle. And we're going to lower our lander more or less on a shoestring. Once we find the surface, we blow up the airbags. That takes about a blink of an eye, about a half a millisecond, and then we're going to fire some retro rockets. When we get to about 40 meters above the surface, slow down to 0 miles per hour, cut the cord and bounce. And we bounce. And we bounce. Now, the first bounce of this vehicle could take us over, I use the Empire State Building. We can bounce anywhere from 1.5 miles to 2 miles. Each successive bounce is taking away a little bit of energy, which slows us down. After we lose all of our energy and we come to a stop, we're going to deflate the airbags. So the vehicle senses that we stop, we deflate the airbags. What you saw happen in a few seconds there takes about 45 minutes in real time. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up our lander pedals. We're going to open up these lander pedals now, where you're going to see happen in about 30 seconds, happens in 45 minutes. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up the solar rays, and if you don't mind, I will watch too. We got one more thing to do. One more. Okay. Once it gets over center. Oh, okay. Hold on. I must have seen this 1,000 times. It doesn't matter how many times I see it. I get very excited when it works because my team and I were the team that designed that, and if it didn't work, we had a very, very bad day on Mars. So when it works, I get a little excited. So open up the solar arrays. Now we can power the vehicle. We're starting to charge up the batteries. The last things that you're going to see happen on this first day is we pull up our pan-cam mast, what we call the PMA, and we deploy our high-gain antennas so we can talk directly back to Earth. The last thing that you're going to see the rover do in this animation is it's going to take a panoramic image. One of the things that you want to do when you've landed in a new place is find out where you are. So we're going to take this beautiful image and we're going to start transmitting that back to Earth. So the next day what we're going to do is we're going to stand up the vehicle, deploy the front wheels, and we're going to change more or less our perspective on the surface. When we designed Spirit and Opportunity, we designed the eyes to be at 5'2". That's approximately the level of a human being walking on the surface of Mars. So now, when we take images and we get our panoramic images, it's going to feel like a human being was standing on Mars looking around. We're looking for scientifically exciting sights. Spirit and Opportunity are roving geologists. Their job was to follow the water, to look for water that may have flown on the surface of Mars. And we're going to do that through the history of the rocks. Go up, taste the rocks, touch the rocks, feel the rocks. If you can, break the rocks. Try to figure out, do the rocks tell us something about the history of Mars? So now the last thing that we have to do is drive the rover off the lander. You're going to see the lander change its position a little bit, get ready for the rover to drive off on these things called bat wings. We drive off on those bat wings and we get 6 wheels on the surface of Mars. We call Spirit the bad sister. And not because she was bad in any way, but we drive off the lander, we go up to the first rock. The rock was called Adirondack. We took out our arm, we touched the rock. And as soon as we touched the rock, Spirit did not call home. It's like E.T. went, I know phone home. So we were worried that we didn't understand what was going on with Spirit. Remember that boring period of driving through interstellar space that I told you about? 7 months? So during that